So thank you, Mr. Ambassador, for this interview, for granting exclusive interview. And the first question is related directly to your recent activity. You met both presidents, and you are in the shuttle diplomacy, and you're going back and forth, and you are spending your time in Nagorno-Karabakh as well. So it's apparently after Vienna and Kiev, there is new hope. And I see in your statements for the first time a positive tone. What is the cause for that? Can you explain us what's happening? Is there something that we don't know this time?
Sure. First of all, let me thank you for the interview. It's a pleasure to see you, and I'm glad we have the opportunity to talk. You know, the two presidents met on November 19th in Vienna, and this is the first time that they had met in several years. And the good news from that is that they did have a constructive dialogue, and that in a 90-minute conversation, one-on-one, with no one else present.
90 minutes?
90 minutes. They were able to talk to each other seriously about the issues, and they came out of that, both sides believing that they could work with each other and that there is a way forward. And that was good news for all of us, and certainly good news for the people of Azerbaijan, Armenia, and Nagorno-Karabakh. And well, we look forward to that dialogue continuing, because that's the way that we will find the way towards peaceful settlement, finally. And it really is up to the two presidents. If they have the political will to settle this, to work with each other and find a way forward, then it will happen, and the Minsk group is there to help facilitate the process.
And interesting statement after the Vienna meeting. The statement says that both sides, both presidents, discussed broad range of issues. And this is first time we're hearing something like that. That, you know, even during the previous meetings. I'm not talking about this pause that they had after 2012. Even the previous meetings with Medvedev mediating the talks, you didn't have that kind of statement that presidents discuss broad range of issues. Well, would you just tell us a little bit, if possible, what kind of issues are those?
Well, of course, this was a one-on-one meeting, so I don't know all of the facts, but they did speak about the most sensitive issues, and they did talk to each other very frankly about what it will take to find a way to a settlement, and that's constructive. I'm sure they did not agree on everything, but the fact that they had this discussion, that they instructed their foreign ministers to continue the discussion, and that they hope to meet in early next year, is a very positive step.
Can we say that they went over all these principles that were outlined in Madrid, and then later on it was a little bit updated?
Well, I don't know that they, I'm not sure that they talked about the principles per se, but I do know that they talked about the key issues to finding a settlement. They said they respected each other's positions, and that they believed that they could find a way to a settlement. Now, of course, this needs to be worked out, talked through, and that's why we hope that the presidents will meet again to continue the conversation.
Mr. Ambassador, what is the most difficult issue during these discussions? Maybe you can describe, like, what is the issue that you can say just the principle in general?
Well, there are, as you know, there are a number of very difficult issues that need to be addressed. There's a reason that this conversation has been ongoing now for 20 years since the ceasefire. These are difficult issues. But in fact, I believe that both sides can find a way forward that in fact helps both sides, that both sides can see a way forward to a settlement, that in fact no one loses and everyone gains. And with any negotiation, that is what we hope for. Not that people, either the people of Nagorno-Karabakh or Armenia or Azerbaijan, make sacrifices. No, we're not asking that. What we hope is that the sides, all parties, will find it in their interest to have a durable, peaceful settlement to this long-standing conflict.
Perhaps the most, I think experts and also media always focusing on maybe two issues. First of all, as you described in your statement, as it is being written in these principles of the settlement, that the return of occupied territories, right? That Armenian forces are now controlling. Occupied territories. The other issue is referendum, that Nagorno-Karabakh can hold its own, referendum, plebiscite, and decide on their own fate.
Right.
Whether they want to be independent within Azerbaijan or with Armenia.
Right.
These are two most difficult issues. Am I?
Yeah, of course. Those are
getting closer.
those are very important issues. But let me add one more for you, and that is one of trust and understanding. What strikes me is when I'm in Baku, when I'm in Yerevan, and also when I'm in Nagorno-Karabakh, I find these are good people on all sides, and and I understand this. There is a deep distrust between among all the parties, and I hope that we can find a way. And this is on the people-to-people level. This is not government-to-government and high policy. That I hope Armenians, Azerbaijanis, the people of Nagorno-Karabakh can come to see one another as real people and the human side of this. And I do believe that on all sides these are good, honest people. These are people that want the best for their families, for the future. They want peace and prosperity.
War.
No one wants war. That's the thing. And we're in a situation now, it's neither peace nor war. The people deserve better than they have now, and finding a way to a durable settlement is the way. As I've said to others, this could bring a new era of prosperity in the region. This is a conflict that can be resolved, and I truly hope that the political leaders can find a way for the sake of the people. It strikes me that there's a generation, a young generation, that is growing up in Azerbaijan and Armenia, and of course in Nagorno-Karabakh itself.
They've never seen each other.
They've never seen each other. They've never talked to each other. They don't know one another, and all they hear and see from each other is what is in the media. And unfortunately that gets distorted and misinterpreted, and I'd like to see a point where there can be this kind of trust and relationships restored.
Can you do that?
I hope.
You hope?
It's up to, well, it's not up to the Minsk group. We're facilitators in this process. It's up to the political leadership to decide that they want to find a settlement.
Here's also another major issue. You are representing the countries that are not necessarily keenly interested in it's not the high on their agenda. Nagorno-Karabakh is not the first item, or second, or third, or fourth.
Well, there are many problems.
You have to have your president's backing.
Well, there are many problems in the world, of course. Look around, and there are many news stories. And I agree with you that Nagorno-Karabakh is not on the top of the list, but that doesn't mean it isn't important.
Yes.
And certainly for the people of Armenia and Azerbaijan and Nagorno-Karabakh, it's very important. And finding a way to a durable peace is extremely important, and the United States wants to help. Look, we want to work through the Minsk group. We're committed to this format and finding a way. If there's anything that the United States can do on a bilateral basis as well, we stand ready. And I could say, we have a very good relationship with Russia, with France and the European Union, that we want to find a way forward here, and we would like to find a durable settlement.
Can I talk about that a little bit more? You always keep saying, not only you, but the other sides as well, that we have really, this is unique situation, Nagorno-Karabakh. This is perhaps one of the few places that there is understanding between Russia and the United States, and we cooperate here. There is not a single issue that that we can argue about. So there is complete understanding. Is that true? Is that the case? There's a certain portion of skepticism.
Well, the fact is,
in Armenian society, in other societies as well, because you cannot have really complete understanding in one issue and be so different on others.
Well, there I disagree, because in fact we work very well with the Russians on many issues, and look at how we have cooperated on issues around the world. My last job was working on Afghanistan, and there was another issue where we do, in fact, work very closely and see eye to eye. But on Nagorno-Karabakh, there is no question. Together with my Russian colleague, my French colleague, who also speaks, and works closely with the European Union, we do see eye to eye, and we want to move together as a team to find a way and help to facilitate a settlement. And that's also what the parties want.
Yes, and the other question, you spend most of your time, you spend a lot of time in Nagorno-Karabakh, a lot. I should say, for example, you had recently around 2 hours talk with Bako Sahakian, if I'm not mistaken, maybe correct me if I'm wrong, and you talked with them, with the leaders, but recently you have added another group, the members of civic society, and that's interesting part of it. Can you tell us a little bit more why you are spending so much time in Nagorno-Karabakh? Is there something new?
Well, I always look forward to traveling to Nagorno-Karabakh, to meeting with people there, to hearing their views, and I would say that the Minsk group listens carefully, and we want to take their views into account. And on this trip, it was a good opportunity to meet with civil society and to hear their views. And the Minsk group should be open. Yes. We should hear from not just the political leaders at the very top, but we should also be open to hearing from the people. And it's not just in Nagorno-Karabakh itself, but it's also in Yerevan, in Baku. We should listen to what the people have to say and the way forward that they believe and their concerns. And this was a good opportunity in Nagorno-Karabakh to hear from them. And this was the first time I've met with them, but I can assure you that it will not be the last.
So you're also talking to civil society in Azerbaijan, right?
Well, I'm open to talk to hearing from and talking to everyone, and I think that's important for us.
And you've attended also funeral of Serge Sarkisian. It wasn't. Father,
I wasn't there, unfortunately, for the funeral itself, but I did have the opportunity. I had the opportunity to call the widow of the president's father and expressed my condolences to her, and of course, my deepest sympathies go to the president, to his family, and to the people of Armenia at this loss. I saw the president shortly after the loss of his father. He was very gracious to meet with us in a time when I know he was, in mourning. And at that time, I expressed my sympathy to the president himself, and we wish him and his family all the best. And I have to say that he has a lovely mother.
So another issue now that is being discussed in the press, both here and in Azerbaijan, is Turkey issue.
Yes.
You said in your previous statement, you said that Turkey might play a positive role in Nagorno-Karabakh, and then you issued another statement. You talked to the Armenian media saying that Turkey has no Armenian-Turkish relations have nothing to do with Nagorno-Karabakh. But again, you said that Turkey might play a positive role. Can you just clarify?
Of course.
What was your statement?
Let me make clear about this. That the Minsk group has a mandate from the countries of the OSCE to work on the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict and to work with all of the parties. And there is no linkage here with Turkey and its regional relations. Our job is to focus on facilitating a peaceful settlement, and I just want to be very clear about that. At the same time, Turkey is a neighbor, and we understand that Turkey as a neighbor, of course, plays a role in the region. Turkish-Armenian relations are important, and we welcome the visit of the foreign minister here on a bilateral basis to talk through regional issues. And we hope that, that those talks on a bilateral basis with Armenia, we hope that they were productive and will be productive in the future.
Mr. Ambassador, have you met Davutoglu at all?
I have not, no.
You did not? But
I have not.
You're having meetings with Turkish officials, aren't you?
Well,
I mean, not only you,
as
but
the Minsk
also
group,
other co-chairs.
Well, let me say, as the Minsk group, we're open to hearing from everyone, as I said. And we're not
from Iran. I remember at some point there were some channels open also.
Well, I can't speak to that because, at the present time, no, there is not a channel with Iran. But I would say that as the Minsk group, we're open to hearing from everyone, from countries in the region, from members of OSCE, from civil society. We should be receptive, and we should be in a listening mode, and anything that we can do to facilitate durable settlement, we should pursue. And
also, we're hearing from Turkish officials, some of them even, but then deny the statements. For example, suggesting that if Armenia returns 2 territories, we're ready to open up the border with Armenia, would start to facilitate diplomatic relations with them. And what do you think about that?
Well, you need to talk to Turkey about that and pursue those ideas with them. As I said, the Minsk group, we're not here to make decisions. We're not here to put forward and argue for a particular approach. We're here to facilitate a settlement, and I think you should pursue that, with the appropriate parties.
The last question is about your diplomatic career, and we know that you served in a lot of capacities in the Middle East and in Afghanistan. You've been at the United Nations U.S. mission there. And Secretary of State John Kerry, when talking about you, he said that you're a skillful diplomat and you can make difference. And we know that there were a lot of very skillful diplomats that were co-chairs of, in these talks, and they tried, they worked hard, but they didn't succeed. I can remember Gary Kavanaugh, Stephen Mann, I can remember Matthew Bryza, and many others, Rudolph Perina. They did really great job, but they couldn't do anything. How are you going to to make a difference here?
Well, thank you.
We just want to know that.
Thank you for that. And we have had very many skilled diplomats working on this, but it's not a question of skilled American or Russian or French diplomats. It's a question of political will of the leaders. And if we can help them find a way, that's why we're here. And that's why I'm here. And you know, I have a background that I hope can help to facilitate a settlement, and I look forward to working with all the parties.
And one question about Lady Gaga. We've seen your picture photo with her, and what is there anything common between you and Lady Gaga? Can you tell us a little bit more? Because a lot of people were fascinated.
Well, thank you for following. First of all, thank you for following me on Twitter.
You, everyone.
And I hope that all of your audience will follow me as well. Of course, I had the opportunity to meet Lady Gaga. Everyone knows that she's a fantastic entertainer, but I don't think people know that she's also a very good person. And I had the opportunity to sit down with her and talk with her, just like this. Yeah. And you know, I found her to be, you know, not only a great entertainer, but a truly good human being, and you know, a person that you can sit down with and talk to and relate to, and probably your audience doesn't appreciate that, but you know, but when you see her in person,
she has a lot of fans here, you know, and a lot of people like her.
Well, I hope she can come to Yerevan. I think that that she put on a great
rock
show.
Music?
Of course, of course. And if you look back on my Twitter, you'll see me with some other musicians, and I don't pretend to be anything other than a great fan of rock music, and I hope to have the opportunity in the future to put more photos on Twitter.
We're looking for that. Thank you, Mr. Ambassador.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for this interview.
Thank you.
Pleasure.